So anyway, I've finally finished playing the Until Dawn remake. You'd think I would have managed it by now, but I was working on a movie and found it oddly dispiriting for reasons we can get to in other videos. I did, however, find that new ending very interesting. So let's take a look at it and break it down a little, shall we? First off, it's weird, the refusal to commit to when it's set. Until Dawn came out 10 years ago. It's set 10 years ago this February, after all. Maybe it's a situation in which they don't want to commit to a release date for Until Dawn 2, but they want it to be set in the present day, so they're worried that stamping a date here will create a continuity error later on. That could be the case. It's still a little odd, though. Also, not for nothing, I don't need subtitles for on-screen titles. It's not like someone is saying some years later. So we've got an angry dog barking as someone, or something, is approaching the house. But Sam is sleeping through it, which kind of makes the whole having a scary guard dog seem like a little bit of a waste. Is this a boy who cried wolf situation where the dog makes such a fuss so frequently that she stopped responding to it? Also, don't put your dog outside at night if you live in Los Angeles. There's a not insignificant chance it's going to get killed by a pack of coyotes. I mean, really, the dog's even whining. I feel like Sam might be a bad dog mommy. I do love the dog, though. He's a real cutie, and I hope he both shows up in the game and cannot be killed, because we know that's not off the table. Waking up at 6 a.m. for her job. That poor woman. Although here, the LA commute is terrible, so at least it tracks. No, that's not a real book. And the author's name is likely a joke reference to Parks and Recreation. Can't get a look at the drug name from this angle, sadly. So she's actually been awake and staring at the fan this whole time, unable to sleep, which makes her not being alarmed by her dog's warning extra strange. I'd be very worried that the dog has suddenly fallen silent as well. The Wendigo Log is just a weird name for a book, as is the name Giselle Hand, which, if it's a reference, this time I didn't get it. Finally, we get a look at the drug she's taking. It's Zoloft, sometimes prescribed for depression and PTSD. She's taking 3 tabs at a time, which seems like a lot, especially considering that there's only 30 tabs in the bottle and she's out of refills. Do they really expect her to go to the doctor every 10 days to re-up this thing? Also, check it out. This is the only time her last name, Giddings, appears in the game. And here's an extra fun note. We now know where Sam lives. Well, roughly, anyway. The label says 791 Lafayette Street, but we don't know what suburb of Los Angeles she's in, so there's no way to know for sure where her house is supposed to be. The posters are tragically too blurry to make out here. That might say monsters? Now it's revealed that there's blood all over her arm from a wound that won't close. When did she get this? Was there a new scene I missed? It seems like if they wanted to have Sam haunted by an injury, you'd have it happen right here. She can't escape the cabin without this Wendigo almost getting her and Hannah tackling it. So since this has to happen in the game for her to survive, an extra bit of business with her arm getting tagged would have been a smart addition to set up this scene, since her injury doesn't really make sense otherwise.
Damn it. I'm up! I'm up!
Then somebody's banging on her door and I'm like, buddy, it's 6 a.m. What is wrong with you? It's nice to see she's still got the prom night 2013 photo, but it's weird that it's on the floor. Not as weird as the box of tissues being on the floor, since you'd be more likely to need those than the photo. I wonder if the shape of this injury is going to be important. Is it somehow connected to the Wendigo spirit and mythology? She starts to freak out about the injury, causing her vision to turn red, and then we hear the door to her room open and Dr. Hill says her name. Sam. And yes, that's clearly Dr. Hill. Not just because Peter Stormare has a very distinctive voice, but because it says so in the game's code. Thanks for digging that out, Anti-Meme. Now, we don't know whether he's her psychiatrist, because we can't really make out the name on the label. It says doctor, and that could be an A, but the rest is too blurry to tell. I'm going to have to wait until we can get a better look at this bottle before we figure that out. Then we get the end title, and even though this scene can only exist for the sole purpose of setting up an Until Dawn 2, it might as well count as a confirmation that they're working on the game. They don't put a will continue or will return under the title. Absolutely baffling choice, Sony. It's like, do you not want people to get excited about this game? So what's going on here? Is Sam staying at Dr. Hill's house for some reason? Has he arrived there to check on her because she's missed appointments with him? 6 a.m. would be a weird time to do that. Her being connected to Dr. Hill is the strangest part of the epilogue, and the epilogue includes her having a mystery arm wound. It's definitely something I'm desperate to learn more about, and it goes a long way towards explaining Peter Stormare's appearance in the Until Dawn movie, since he's already working with Sony on the next game in the series. As far as reasons to get excited for a sequel go, it's pretty solid. I know plenty of people don't want a canon ending to Until Dawn, but my guess is that we're not going to get one beyond Sam being alive. My prediction? We won't see anyone else from the game in Until Dawn 2, and Sam will refuse to discuss the events of the first game, so we won't get any kind of a concrete answer about who lives and who dies. Since Sam's the hardest character to kill, putting her in the sequel makes the most sense, I guess. It's not as clean as a sequel entirely about new characters would be, but it also isn't a Dead by Daylight movie that they're just calling Until Dawn either, so I guess we'll take what we can get. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if Josh surviving is canonized as well, but if we see him again, it will probably be in such a monstrous form that it will not require the participation of Rami Malek. Then again, crazier things have happened. I look forward to finding out more once the game is finally announced. Hopefully they piggyback on the release of the movie, but that will largely depend on how close to showability the game is, I'm guessing. For now, though, I've been the Hidden Object Guru. Thanks for watching. If you had a good time and you'd like to see more, there's buttons coming up to help with that. Questions, suggestions, your own theories about Until Dawn 2, go in the comments section below the video. Dear Sony, I'm available to consult on Until Dawn 2. Not hard to find, just reach out. Play my game, Clown in the Woods. It's a delight. Not set in the winter, though, tragically. I will see you back here for more Until Dawn, but until then I'll say that's right. Au revoir.